Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. And another heavyweight news mashup video today, starting with Tyson Fury and his trainer Sugar Hill. So working together in the United Kingdom in camp for a third fight with Deontay Wilder, which is penciled in for December. It's not quite announced yet, but here is an update from the training camp.
So here we have Sugar Hill after training today, training in 30 degrees in the gym. How's it all going, Shug?
The gym is going good. It's not as hot, 30 degrees, but the crunk was probably about 40 degrees.
I'll give you that because the crunk was real hot, but you did have a space storage heater. We've only got heat and blow, aircon and heat in one setting, so yeah.
Whatever works, we still got time.
But I'm not making excuses because I'm not an excuse maker. Your gym heat was better, by far.
It's okay. There's always room for improvement. The day is young and nice and long. So by the time we wake up in the morning, there might be some super heat going on here, like when I arrived here in Markham. And there's been a heat wave ever since.
Thank you for that, by the way, for bringing the Detroit weather with you to Morecambe Bay.
You're welcome, and everyone else in the community is welcome as well.
You have a little fetish for Morecambe, don't you?
Morecambe's a very nice place. It's quiet, it's comfortable, and everyone should visit.
And just sticking with Tyson Fury, so he's also posted to his social media saying, again, just to put everyone straight, I'm fighting Bronze Bomber next whenever it is, wherever it is. Everyone else can just join the queue, #fake news. And there is a healthy dose of irony there with those comments, because Tyson Fury, along with his co-promoter Frank Warren, in recent months have been part of the issue of stoking the fires of another potential fight, Fury versus someone else, and potentially an undisputed fight next. But it does look like Deontay Wilder will get that third fight penciled in, as I say, for December. Hopefully it will be announced soon. Tyson Fury obviously in camp right now, and Deontay Wilder apparently working hard too behind the scenes. Not much coming out from his end, but apparently he is looking in good shape for the third fight. The American heavyweight Michael Hunter has called out a new matchroom signing, Zhang. So the Chinese heavyweight, unbeaten, 21-0, has just signed on with Matchroom. He was co-promoted by them, but is now with them outright, and this is after Rock Nation, his previous promoter, has gotten out of the sport. But Michael Hunter calling him out, and there's a certain irony with this, because Hunter was actually let go and cut from Matchroom just a couple of months ago, and now I guess some people would say a lesser heavyweight in terms of profile rankings, just in terms of prestige with the wins under his belt, is now being picked up by Matchroom, where Hunter is obviously out in the cold still. We'll have to see what happens there with Hunter in his next fight, but he would like that with Zhang. And actually, another heavyweight that's called him out is Guido Vianello, and that's via Vianello's manager, Sam Jones, who you can see has also retweeted the same graphic as Hunter did, and he says Zhang versus the Gladiator at Vianello Guido, which is Guido Vianello. So this new signing has obviously elicited some interest from other heavyweights that are not necessarily within the Matchroom stable, but seemingly there could be some fights to make in, and a guy like Zhang at 37 years old, maybe a little bit past his best, and seemingly that could be there for the taking against the good heavyweight. Yeah, I think there'll be a lot of guys putting their hand up to face him. He does have good skills, good height, but he probably is a guy that is seen by many in the division as a beatable fighter. The Matchroom promoter Eddie Hearn says he's been talking to his top-ranked counterpart Bob Arum about a potential undisputed fight between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury in regards to squaring away some paperwork. So he says Fury against Joshua is a big ambition of everybody involved, to be honest. We want to talk about it, but we also want to take care of business, which is Kubrat Pulev for AJ and Deontay Wilder for Tyson Fury. I'm very sure you're going to see the two versions of that fight in 2021. I think they're on the verge now of preparing that deal when he's talking about the undisputed fight here with Bob Arum. We haven't done it yet, but all the conversations are positive. We've got a lot on our plates with the pandemic, making sure we keep boxing alive and trying to deliver those fights for AJ and Fury. But I think 2021 I'm very sure you'll see those two fights. Meanwhile, Eddie Hearn says he's also close to getting a fight between Oleksandr Usyk and Derek Chisora over the line. Currently penciled in for the 31st of October. This was made for earlier in the year but had to be rescheduled because of the pandemic. They want to have a crowd present, but it's sort of one of those things, if they don't, it may get pushed back. Who knows, it may not ever happen at all if it doesn't have a crowd. But Hearn on social media saying trying to get Usyk and Derek Chisora done, closing in, and then the pray emoji, and at Sky Sports Boxing and at DAZN USA. So I guess for our sakes, hopefully it does get done, because it's an interesting fight for many reasons, not least of which is Oleksandr Usyk. It's kind of like a showcase. If he can get in there, do the business, and then it's a showcase for a title fight, which he is already guaranteed should he keep winning, given he is the WBO mandatory challenger. And Oleksandr Usyk, speaking of him, he's put out another clip trolling Derek Chisora. Here it is.
I'm coming for you, Derek!
The WBC has updated its rankings for the first time in months. Many of the sanctioning bodies took about 3 months off because of the pandemic and froze rankings. The WBC almost 6. And in it, Dillian Whyte enters the rankings at number 5. Previously, he had been above the rankings because he was the WBC interim champion. Povetkin, who was in the rankings, obviously is elevated above them. But the other significant movement here is Oscar Rivas is down 5 places from number 3 to number 8. So that's quite a big sort of drop, especially considering other fighters above him who sort of basically stayed steady, didn't really move, and they have not been fighting either. So make of that what you will. And Dave Allen is skiting on social media about the opportunities that he has in front of him, being offered to spar with Oleksandr Usyk and Alexander Povetkin, saying on Instagram, and this is the second post in 2 days, people online, Dave Allen is boxing. Then he goes on to say, 2 of the best heavyweights in the world. Let's get Dave Allen in for sparring when we could have more or less any fighter in the world come over for the experience and good money. And then followed by a smiling emoji. So Allen obviously chuffed with himself and the opportunity that has been presented to him by Oleksandr Usyk and also Alexander Povetkin. But what do you make of it all? Drop a comment, loud and often, hit like, hit subscribe, follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.